Greetings, salutations, and hello to all of my listeners, my unlucky lounge rats. It's good to see you've walked back this way to the historic Unlucky Lounge for a brand new episode of Draft and Draft. My name is Corey, your limited lore master, denizen of the Unlucky Lounge. Not joining us today is Borak. He's off with his family, doing a little bit of hibernation. We got a big old amount of snow out in the blind eternities. And for other people that live in the northern hemisphere of the place we like to call Earth, well, you can relate to that as well. But as we're staying inside, being pretty cozy, I figured it's time for us to open up a Kaldheim pre-release kit, talk a little bit about Sealed in the environment of Kaldheim, and of course, open some packs. Let me open some packs. Feels real good. But before we get to that pack opening, few bits of housekeeping. As always, this show is brought to you by the Believe Podcast Network. Check them out, BLEAV.com, or wherever you download your audio goodness. Keep your midday blues away with Believe. And we want you as well to find us on all of the socials, Twitter, on TikTok, here on YouTube. Yes, you heard me right, all of my listeners. This is a dual cast episode. There is going to be a video of the opening. So if you want to see some packs actually physically opened, I know, paper magic. Can you actually believe it, friends? Find us on YouTube, Draft and Draft Corey. And if this show and the whole Unlucky Loungeverse is giving you some joy, think about finding us on Patreon at patreon.com/draft and draft. Help us keep the lights on here in the Unlucky Lounge. And big shout out to all of my patrons. Couldn't do the show without you. Well, that's enough of the housekeeping and the upkeeping. But before we swing over to the pack cracking camera, it's time for us to have a celebration. Grab a snack, grab a drink, maybe crack a pack. Celebrate yourselves, friends. This is what we like to call the Untap Step. Cheers to all of you. Let's go ahead and see if we can open some value and hopefully also open up a pretty sweet limited pool. And here's the magic, friends. Kaldheim pre-release kit packed with one of those really sweet stamped pre-release rares. Have not opened this. We're going to open this right here on the podcast. And for all of my watchers on YouTube as well, it's time for you to do what I do a lot on YouTube, and that is watching some pack opening. And hey, like I said, there's a little bit of value to seeing both the podcast or listening to the podcast and of course watching the video on YouTube as well, because you're going to be able to soak in some of these sweet revelations. In fact, what I'm going to do is right now I'm going to take the pre-release part. I'm just going to set it off to the side because you know what? Let's have some kind of fun reveal. That's what all the people who get the good views on pack opening videos do, right? We kind of wait for the big potential splashy things towards the end. Well, let's go ahead and dig into it. We got 6 Kaldheim booster packs right here. Let's see what we can build out of it. Now, if you've listened to the show so far and heard my initial impressions on the Kaldheim limited environment, you know that right now I'm definitely thinking there's big power in things like snow synergies, and the good news is we're guaranteed to have at least 6 snowlands, if not more, in our Kaldheim booster pack. So we don't have to worry about taking them in draft picks. The snow decks, particularly in Sultai, sometimes in Temur, very good stuff. I am a fan of the double spell mechanic, but I do think that falls off just a little bit here in the sealed format because it is a bit of a slower, limited environment. But I would be interested in potentially maybe making some kind of aggro plan work with those really nice equipments, the ones that you can pay mana as it enters the battlefield and make an additional creature token. Those seem to be quite nice. First out, Wings of the Cosmos, white replacement removal, kind of tricky type thing, not too interested. Draugr Thought Thief. Man, there's nothing that feels worse than you being short on lands, then your opponent Draugr Thought Thiefs you, and then it literally doesn't matter whether it's on top or bottom. You just feel like you're gonna have a real hard time that game. Yeah, it's a beating this card can be. Toskari Firewalker, one of the better Boast common cards. 3/2 for 2 and a red, pay 1, exile the top party library. You can pay it this turn. The real issue is the 2 toughness, because essentially most of the time he's going to get into combat once and then go straight to the graveyard. So finding ways to boast the toughness, well, not boast the toughness, but boost the toughness, and then take advantage of potentially getting multiple swings off this card is pretty sweet. Also, it feels pretty bad when you exile a card you can't cast because you just paid the 1 for most. That totally didn't happen to me before. Snakeskin Veil. This card, the Ranger's Guile of the format. Do not sleep on this card. It's very, very good. The fact that it leaves behind a counter and then blanks a removal spell. And, you know, pretty much all contemporary limited formats, removal is really up there. It's really, really important. And Snakeskin Veil is a good piece to keep your stuff on the board. So, Demonic Gifts, the 1 in a black instant until end of turn, target creature gets +2 so. When it dies, return to the battlefield under its owner's control. Don't really want to play any of these, but, you know, played it before. Roots of Wisdom, not really a great sorcery common card. It's one of those mill cards that gets you 1 card from the graveyard or draw a card. Smashing Success, good for the board, not good for anything else. Karfell Kennel Master. Karfell Kennel Master is a real beating in a lot of the black-white decks. I want one of these in the double spell decks in the red-black Berserker attack, boast, tap thing sideways. This card is one of the few threats you actually want to end your curve with. Very happy with it. Also, love me some Stalwart Valkyrie. 3/2 for 3 and a white flyer. You can exile a creature instead of its cost alongside paying 1 and a white. 3/2 flyer. This is perfect. Like, you want to find things that have the potential to double spell and to play things that are 2 mana. Stalwart Valkyrie is a great piece of it. You know what's also a great piece of pretty much any deck that is going to run this color is Mistwalker. The 1/4 Changeling flyer for 2 and a blue, and then it can alter its power by reducing a toughness by paying 1 and a blue. Insanely good card. Also, I do like me some Doomscar Titan. The 4/4, the 4 red. I've yet to actually play this card, but it looks really exciting. When it ETBs, creatures you control get +1/+0 in haste, and you can foretell it for 4 and a red. This card is very good. I haven't played it. I've been on the other side of it, had my face smashed in, would like to play it. Hailstorm Valkyrie. I thought this card was going to be mostly a blank in the format, but because the ability to pick up snow in kind of an efficient manner, and, you know, even in draft, where you think that there's just so many snowlands going to be picked up by everybody, Hailstorm Valkyrie still has its place and is a great card to table if you know you're going to be there. Also, I love me the uncommon land cycle, the Jara Mirror Lake, which was in our latest episode of Friday Night Podcast. It is the blue, enter the battlefield tapped land. You pay 2 green, blue, and tap it, sack it. You make a token of a creature that you control, and then it gets an additional counter. Yeah, this card is absolutely lovely. Would like to take advantage of it if I can. Our rare is going to be Dream Devourer. This is the card that gives all the cards in your hand foretell. Its foretell cost is equal to its mana cost reduced by 2, and then whenever you foretell a card, it gets +2/+0 until end of turn. Yeah, not a bad card at all to start off on. Not a bad card. Let's keep this going. I won't mention every single card. I'm going to probably start to rocket through and just really pull out the ones I think are the biggest role players, the strongest power, and the things that are going to draw me into our sealed pool. Pilfering Hawk, the Looter, the 1/2 flyer for 1 and a blue. Pay a snow to loot. Like it, especially if you get some of the snowlands. This card has overperformed for me. Oh, talk about an overperforming card. Tormentor's Helm. 1 red, artifact equipment. Equip for 1 colorless, +1/+1, and when the creature becomes blocked, it deals 1 damage to the defending player. This is one of the few things that I really think can allow your aggressive decks to beat things like a 2/4 for 3 in, you know, like Savello, the Troll. It's funny, there's so many high toughness creatures, and a card like Tormentor's Helm allows you to put pressure on, and combine it with runes like the Rune of Speed. The card's great. Beskar Shieldmate, 2/1 for 1 and a white. When it dies, make it 1/1 human creature token. It's fine. Elderfang Disciple, I like this card. The 1/1 Ravenous Rats, that's an elf cleric for 1 and a black. Yeah, it doesn't pull me, but if we end up in black, I'm pretty happy with it. Guardian Bladewalker, great changeling card, 1/1 for 1 and a green. When it eats bees, you put counter target creature. Love it. Good little piece there. Another solid black common in Jarl of the Forsaken, 3/2 with flash for 3 and a black. Foretell for 1 and a black, and when it enters the battlefield, you destroy a creature or planeswalker that was relevant for me, that was dealt damage this turn. Really sweet. Open the Omen's Path, not really a card I want to play. Raven Wings, you know, especially in Sealed. Now, this is a good example of the difference between a card that overperforms in Sealed over Draft. This is the equipment for 2 colorless. The equipped creature gets +1/+0, flying, and is a bird in addition to its other types. And it's got an equip with 2. It's pretty efficient, and having a way to push through damage in board stalls, which can happen often in Sealed, this could be a card that could be a role player. Also, wears things well, like Omens. Struggle for Skemfar, an amazing card. The Hunt the Weak of the format that can be foretold for 1 green mana. Absolutely adore the card. I would love to maybe make some green, black. Maybe we can do Sultai Snowproof. Not looking great at the moment, but we shall see. A null, nice little counterspell for the board. I'm not going to play it. Frost Augur. This is really cute. 1/2 for 1 blue. Pay a snow, you get the top card of your library. If it's snow, you reveal it, put it in your hands. It can get you card advantage. That's pretty much it. Hey, it pairs quite nicely with this Boreal Outrider that we got next. I've talked about this card at length on the podcast. A 3/2 for Tunic Green. When you pay snow as part of its color cost for card, it gets an additional +1/+1 counter. That's just gravy. Tigrid Shadow, a nice piece of Barter the Blood and instant speed. Whew, I like that. Our black is looking pretty good right now. Oh my goodness. Cosima, God of the Voyage, is the rare in this pack alongside a snow-covered forest. It's the god for 2 blue. You can basically exile it, and then as the turns roll on, whenever you play a land, either gets a Voyage counter, or you bring it back, and then you draw cards, you get the Voyage counters, get a +1/+1 counter. And on the other side is the Omen Kill, the 3/3 equipment for 1 blue. Whenever a vehicle you control takes damage, you exile that many cards from your opponent's library, and you can play land to exile that way. This is sweet. I like this card so much I actually already brewed a commander deck around it. Check out my TikTok if you want to see what that deck looks like and kind of see the process of me building it. I have to say, I put a lot of effort into that TikTok, and it seems quite enjoyable, if I do say so myself. And I heard the person that made the TikTok is quite charming. I don't know. You have to go check it out yourself. Breakneck Berserker, nice piece of the aggro decks, a 3 mana, 3/2 with haste. Pretty good. Warhorn Blast, I've yet to see a card where I actually want to play Warhorn Blast. It's the Inspiring Charge with Foretell in the format. Not interested. Same with Brian Barrow Intruder. Not okay with that. Run amok. +3/+3. Creature gains trample for undeterred 1 red instant. Nice aggressive piece. We'll see. I'm more inclined right now to look at the blue-black side of things, but a lot of blue-black decks too I've seen have not been that exciting. We shall see. Oh, what is exciting though is this Glimmering Frost. The Snow Enchantment Aura. This card literally defines the snow format. Really happy to have one here in the pool. Maybe we can make some blue-green stuff happen. Maybe splash a little bit of black if the black continues to develop. I don't know. Speaking of black, Grim Draugr. Nice little piece to the snow decks there. 3/2 for 2 and a black. And you pay 1 and a snow to give it menace and +1/+0. Pretty good. Shackles of Treachery is next out, which is the Act of Treason of the format. Probably not going to play that. Raven Form. Don't mind that. And I'm willing to bet Raven Form performs a little bit better in the sealed part of our deck building in Limited than it would in Draft. You just have a little bit more time, so Raven Form is pretty good. Ooh, a nice Bounding Gold in our white color pie. So also in our white color pie, Usher of the Fallen, a 2/1 for 1 white, boast for 1 white, and then you get to make a 1/1 white human creature token. Yeah, pretty good. Also, it does a nice job of helping you enable your double spell turns. Ooh, solid 2-color payoff in Morite of the Frost, the Shapeshifter, for 5 mana. It's a clone for any permanent. If it's a creature that you clone, it gets 2 additional counters. It's legendary, and it's still snow. Hey, blue-green, it looks like it might be a thing, and I'm willing to bet if we're breaking down all of the limited pools that end up being out there, I'm willing to guess there's quite a number that end up being blue-green. Ooh, Glimpse the Cosmos, the Anticipate Giants card. So you anticipate, and then you can flash it back to give a giant for a single blue. If we end up with just a few shapeshifters like Morite or the Mistwalker we had before, I will definitely play this card. I don't need to be in blue-red giants to play this card. Hey, our rare is here, and it's big. Icebreaker Kraken, the 8/8 for 12 mana. It's got a lot of text that essentially says it gets bonuses for snow. I really doubt we're going to play this card. If we do, I'd be very surprised. Snow-covered swamp, and hey, little foil saga action in Arnie Slays the Trolls. I don't think we're going to really look towards that at the moment. Red's not really panning out for us, but hey, it looks really pretty on the YouTubes. Just saying. Hey, all my listeners of the podcast, find this on YouTube. There's a reason. Just look at Arnie Slays the Troll. It's so pretty and so colorful. Look at the shiny. It might be because I also have this really fancy candle. You know, if we're going to do a little sealed here in the Unlucky Lounge, we got to use some of the accoutrement. That's right. Another reason all my podcast listeners to check out the video on YouTube and see a fancy candle. It's not very fancy. I bought it for like $7 on Target. Next in this pack here of Valor of the Worthy, aura that's not really that relevant. Littjara Kinseekers, the 2/4 for 3 and a blue changeling. If you control 3 or more creatures that share a type, put a count on it and then scry 1. It's probably one of the worst shapeshifters that's out there, but it is shapeshifter, so, you know, I might want to just make sure that the Glimpse of the Cosmos, because I really feel like right now we're going to end up playing blue-green. It just kind of feels like it with our signals in our uncommon slot. You know, it can help us get there. It can help us get there. And maybe we'll play the Icebreaker Kraken. Who knows? Cinderheart Giant, big 7/6 for 7 mana. Pass, no thank you. Doomscar Oracle, I do like this card quite a bit in those double spell decks. Nice little piece to help you continue to double spell. When you cast your second spell each turn, gain 2 life, 3/2 for 2 and a white, Foretell for a single white. Not too bad. Mammoth Growth, I have yet to see this card cast in limited, just saying. Priest of the Haunted Edge, talk about a card that's overperformed. An 0/4 for 1 and a black. You sacrifice it, and then target creature gets -X until end of turn, where X is the number of snowlands you control. Only sorcery speed, but this card does work. We might end up playing it. Who knows? We do have a snow-covered forest and swamp. Maybe I'll try to go into that Sultai snow poop world. You know, we'll see. We'll see. Jasphyr Sentinels, next out, 1/2 Reacher for a single green, and has an effect I'm not too interested in, which is, you know, taps another creature to add another mana. It's fine. Feed the Serpent. Ooh, that's kind of a reason to potentially be in black, you know, the exiled creature Planeswalker. Pretty nice. Giant Ox. Huh. Yo, can we get some Colossal Plows? I mean that strictly as the card, friends. Get your minds out of the gutter. Augury Raven, 3/3 flyer for 3 and a blue, Foretell for 1 and a blue, pretty good. Invasion of the Giants, another piece of maybe going to the teamer kind of color side of things, but I don't really want to play this card unless I have a Giant as a follow-up. Otherwise, it's kind of just like a slow preordain, you know? Huh. We open the Ox, we might as well open the Colossal Plow. Well, we did it, folks. We did it. If we really want to do it, we really don't want to do it. Hey, a not found Slumber Mound. Hey, this is one of the better sack lands, the uncommon land cycle that you pay cost, sacrifice it. And this one says you get to destroy a land, make a 4/4 green Troll Warrior creature token. The cost of it is 3 red, green, and tap and sack it. So it's good. Maybe if we end up in Teamer, I don't know. Oh, nice white rare for us in a Glorious Protector. This is the Resto Angel of the contemporary limited formats and I guess, you know, contemporary world in general. 3/4 for 2 and a white, flash flying, foretells for 2 and a white, and when it enters the battlefield, you exile any number of non-angel creatures you control until Glorious Protector leaves the battlefield. Non-angels, changelings, just an FYI, you can't blink changelings. And our Snowland is an Arctic Tree Line. 2 packs to go. Right now, I'm kind of still feeling that green-blue action. Maybe it'll be green-black with splashing with some blue. It seems unlikely with the Marita and the Mirror Lake, but let's just keep this rolling. Master Skald, another card that has performed pretty well, works so nicely with Sagas and Runes. It's a 4/4 for 4 and a white. When it enters the battlefield, you may exile a creature from your graveyard. If you do, return an artifact creature card from your graveyard to your hand. Pretty good. Disdainful Stroke. Now, this is a card I definitely want to try and main deck here if I'm going to be in that blue-green deck. 1 and a blue instant counter target spell with the CMC 4 or greater. It works off the Foretell. Early Foretell costs, get him good, and in limited, especially in sealed when we're being slower, a card like this can be very clutch. Another Guardian Gladewalker, pretty good. Skull Raid. This is such a cute design. It's the Mind Rot that you can draw cards if your opponent doesn't have cards in their hand to discard. Pretty cool. Raider's Carve. Maybe we can end up making this work. I don't really feel like it seems likely, but hey, Raider's Carve, there you go. Squash. Solid removal spell. It's the giant removal spell, 4 and a red, 6 damage, target creature Planeswalker as an instant, and it only costs 2 if you control a giant. Woo! That's pretty good. Grizzled Outrider, 5/5 for 5. No thank you. Buying the Monster. I tend to agree with LSV. On his latest stream, he said he's not really a big fan of this card in the limited format. I agree, but you know what? If I don't have the kind of removal, I will definitely play one. We got a struggle right now in our grand final, so that looks pretty good. Starnheim Courser, solid white flying creature, 2 and a white for a 2/2, and it's not a Windrake because it makes your artifacts and enchantment spells cost 1 less to cast. Pretty nice. Sworn Effigy, like this card a lot, especially in the double spell decks. I don't think we'll end up playing it if we're in this blue-green mess of a build. Weathered Runestone, definitely not a card that we're going to be playing. The Axe Guard Armory. This is the Boros sack land that you get an aura or equipment card from your library, reveal them, put them in your hand. You get both. Good note, you can get both. Make sure you don't miss your triggers on Arena, all my Unlucky Lounge rats. 3 Seasons. An on-color potential Saga here, the blue-green one, but I gotta say, every time I see this card laid out, I'm not that big a fan of it. Maybe we can finally have the deck. It's just, you could potentially whiff. For 1 blue, it's a Saga. It's a nice cheap cost. Chapter 1, mill 3. Chapter 2, return up to 2 snow permanent cards from your graveyard to your hand. And then Chapter 3, you choose 3 cards in each graveyard. The owner shuffle those cards into their libraries. Sure, but I don't know. I got a feeling that it's not really going to be a kind of card that we want to play. Ho-ho! Nice little showcase frame here in an Eska's Chariot, the Cadillac of vehicles. The 4/4 vehicle, crew 4, 3 to green, but when it ETBs, it spots you 2 cats, and then when it attacks, you get to populate, kind of, better than populate. It says that you get to create a copy of a token that you control. Ooh. The green's looking better, friends. The green is looking better. Nice little potential green-blue you're still trying to develop here. Like another struggle for Skemfar. Maybe some more power at the uncommon slot. And we still have our pre-release promo card to reveal, so stick around. Who knows what that'll be. Depart the Realm. I like this card quite a bit. Ooh, you know what I want now that I see this Depart the Realm? I want some card draw. Let's find and behold the multiverse, please. Immersturm Raider, pretty good. Doomscar Oracle, not too bad. Wither Crown, okay, sure. Yeah, it's kind of like removal and kind of like attrition. I don't know. Masked Vandal, I'll probably end up running at least one of these in any given sealed pool. It's a 1/3 changeling for 1 to green. When it ETBs, you may exile a creature card from the graveyard. If you do, you exile an artifact or enchantment in your opponent controls. You just get some of those equipment at the uncommon slot or a saga before it gets to a dangerous chapter. It just does a lot of work. Another Grizzled Outrider. We don't have any of the Ravenous Lindworms. Now that I'm thinking about that, man, what a shame. I love me some Ravenous Lindworm, particularly in green-blue, when you can make copies off like Marite of the Frost or the Mirror Lake that we have. Revitalize, not interested. Another Kennel Master, that's fine. Another Sworn Effigy, and a second Bind the Monster. Okay, cool. Little Replicating Ring action, the Snow Monolith that can make a bunch of copies of itself after a absurd number of turns. Maybe if we're trying to get some colors splashing around. Good little Bloodsky Berserker here. Oh, what a great piece to the black-white 2-spell deck. Probably not going to play this. But hey, speaking of the black-white, we follow that up with a Great Hall of Starnheim, the sack black land that when you sacrifice it and a creature you control, you make a 4/4 white Angel Warrior creature token with flying and vigilance. Pretty good. And oh, this is a nice little piece to the deck we're trying to build here. Cosmos Elixir is our rare 4 colorless artifact. Begin your end step, draw a card. If your life total is greater than your starting life total, otherwise you gain 2 life. Drawing cards, gaining life, really good control piece. And I think that's kind of where we're edging to right now. So our 6 packs are open. Last but not least is the pre-release promo card. What could it be? What is it that could be influencing us? Is this a big old bomb? Is it some good value? Would love a Vorinclex. So let's see. Ooh, Saruf Realm Eater, the 3/3 for black, green, and colorless. It's a legendary wolf. Whenever a permanent an opponent controls is put into the graveyard from the battlefield, you put a counter on it. And then at the beginning of your upkeep, if Saruf has 1 more counters, you may exile all of them. If you do, you exile each other non-land permanent with a CMC less than or equal to the number of counters removed from Saruf. Hey, don't mind that at all. I don't mind that at all. Maybe we can splash a little bit of black and what I'm assuming is going to be a Simic build. But assumptions can sometimes make, well, you know what the rest of the phrase is, my unlucky lounge rats. We're going to take a quick break, stick around, and we'll tell you what this deck looks like here in the podcast or here on YouTube. See you in just a hot second, all my unlucky lounge rats. Welcome back, all of my unlucky lounge rats. I hope you've refreshed, refueled, and good to have you returning to our next green-blue limited deck. I know, I've done it now twice in a row, and I can't tell you the number of times I've drafted on Arena already with a number of green-blue decks, but the cards are good. The fact that it gets the snow payoffs and just has some really good bodies in, say, Mistwalker or the Augury Raven, you can't really argue with that. Plus, the green-blue allows you to splash around for some pretty sweet different color stuff off of cards like Glittering Frost and the wonderful Snow Package and the dual lands that are there. Speaking of our own deck, we do only get to run 4 snow duels, but we do get our Littjara Mirror Lake, which is going to be a nice little extra card. And even though we only have 10 snow permanents on the table in front of us, we're still going to end up running this Frost Augury. That means every 1 in 4 times we get to draw a card. That's not great, but we do need some card advantage, especially in sealed pools. We do get to play Glimpse the Cosmos, the nice double anticipate if you have a giant. And we of course got Cosima as well, the really sweet showcase art that we opened up there, looking so beautiful. And Omen Keel on the other side gives us some flexibility in this card's play, but both sides do some good work at getting some card advantage. Now, when it came to how to kind of round out the rest of the plan here, first and foremost, sadly, our black is not going to make it. Our Saruf Realm Eater is not going in the deck. Saruf. He's not on fire for us here today. Sorry, Saruf. Not quite making it here. Honestly, it's the fact that we had our Arctic Tree line and a snow-covered plains in the deck that made me support our third color splash of white for a nice bound in gold. Hey, I'll take removal where I can get it. I'm playing one of our 2 Bind the Monsters and our Struggle for Skemfar alongside a Raven form, so nice, but hey, I'm going to take what removal I can, especially in sealed when you are going to be facing down a lot more rares on average. And additionally, because of the white splash, I get to play Glorious Protector, the 3/4 flash flyer for 2 white. Hey, this card can ambush things nicely. It can save a creature that was supposed to go to the graveyard. It certainly can't save our shapeshifters, but hey, I mean, let's say we're attacking with an Augury Raven. We can save it so it doesn't die. Like, I'm definitely down for that. As for our last cuts out of the deck, first and foremost, Icebreaker Kraken. We've got 4 Snowlands. There's no way we can make a 12-drop that gets reduced for its casting cost for each Snowland you control. We only have 4. No, thank you. We did not play the 3 seasons because, as I said, there are only 10 snow permanents in the deck, and this is just going to miss way too often. I could wait till, say, a Pilfering Hawk, Frost Augur, or maybe even a Marite for whatever it copies goes to the graveyard, but I'm not into that consistency. We did cut our final 2 cards being duplicates. 1, Bind the Monster. As I said, the card's good, especially the first one, but the second one, no thank you. And the last cut for us was our second Guardian Gladewalker, the 1/1 that puts counter on target creature for 1 and a green. It's nice, it's fine, but the fact that we can't even like blink it with our Glorious Protector, we could copy it with Lajara Mirror Lake, but I mean, do we really want to do that with our 2-drop? Speaking of our top end, I mean, the best we have with our top end is Grizzled Outrider, the 5/5 for 5 Marite the Frost, and well, and Eska's Chariot as well. Really great card, don't get me wrong, which is why I'm still going to run this Depart the Realm and Disdainful Stroke to try to protect it. Same with our Snakeskin Veil. We're kind of low on creatures, and when we have something, we want to make sure that it sticks. And that kind of rounds out this sealed pool here. It's got some nice looking stuff, a little light on the top end, but I definitely think that it is a cohesive build, and it's definitely battleable. Well, all of my unlucky lounge rats, that brings us to the end of our pre-release sealed deck tech for Call Time. But what do you think about our deck? Were we kind of crazy not to try and fit in that Saruf, even though we had a Glittering Frost to potentially support the splash? We in fact had a Snow Swamp too that didn't end up making the final build because we went to white. Or maybe we were supposed to play that second Bind the Monstrous. In green-blue, removal is a bit of a struggle. Could we have benefited from another bit of interaction? But to tell me, either comment below here in the YouTube video, or you can find me on the other socials, on Twitter and on TikTok, Draft and Draft Corey. For my people here on YouTube, check out the podcast, Draft and Draft, an MTG podcast. And if this show is giving you some joy, find us on Patreon, patreon.com/draft and draft. My patrons, they get their names shouted out here in the show, and additionally they get our Friday night podcasts, our draft on the go a day early. That's right, Fridays come early for patrons of the show, and who couldn't use an extra bit of Friday? Well, friends, it looks like I found the bottom of my drink, and so we've reached the end of another episode. My name is Corey, usually joined alongside a very sleepy Borak right now, but this has been Draft and Draft. Now go out there and make some magical memories of your own.